Labas rytas, kaip sekasi. I speak a bit of Lithuanian because I am married with a Lithuanian lady. Wow. I see the happiness in the men's face now. Landmarks, amazing. I think it's a very misunderstood word and very misleading word, this word. First of all, I think we need to ask the question, what is a landmark for the everyday people? And we're going to be surprised what they have in their mind. In their mind, they have this pompous, flamboyant identity, fulfilling an ego building. And they all started, actually, you know when they started? It started from Bilbao, the Guggenheim. And the success of the Guggenheim made all the mayors in the world, all the politicians in the world to have the effect, the so-called Guggenheim effect. Nobody cared about the building. I mean, nobody cared about the architecture at that time. They just wanted to have the effect. And actually, I mean, I was watching an interview of Gary, and he said after the Guggenheim, a lot of people went to him and said, oh, we like to have the Guggenheim effect. Gary said, well, I'm an architect. I don't do effects, I do architecture. So the word I tried to use I found out the word, what mean, how is in Greek, because a lot of the Greek word has a lot of roots. And topos, that's a Greek word for landmark, which is like from topos and sima, is an object or a feature that serves as a point of reference in a place or location, with word topos is the idea of the sense of place. So it's, let's call it references in place, or Topo-Hubs. I tried to use this word. It's like hubs in the place. Now coming to me. In Vardastudio, we have a very clear philosophy in the office. You know, we don't believe in words. We don't believe in these kind of labels in architecture. You know, we don't believe like when you start designing, you say, oh, I'm going to do a landmark. I'm going to do a masterpiece. And the people that come to the office, I always say to them, welcome to the office. Have a cup of tea. Here we don't do masterpieces. Relax. First of all, we are about to do architecture that is behaving and plays well in the context where it is. And the context, I think, is, and the scale, as the late Enrique Miralles would say, he said actually, he was based a lot in the idea of having to place your building, the scale of the building is the most important. This is where it's successful, the architects or not. With this philosophy, with this, let's say, ideology, I'm going to show today landmarks or Topo-Hubs by accident. We never planned these things to be like the landmarks, or we never planned to be anything than good buildings. But eventually the people engage it, the people use it, the people love it, and for us this is the biggest compliment. I will show you a couple of public projects and a couple of big private projects and houses, because I think houses are very significant landmarks, especially they mark the area, the village sometimes, the town, or even the neighborhood. This is very important. I will start with the law courts. How do I go forward? I'm not very good with computer. Oh, this one? Oh, okay. All right, this is a courts. This is a courts in my hometown. It was like an invited competition, but it's funny because they didn't want to see drawings. They just want to see like a portfolio and just to prove them that I can manage a 4 million project. So this is the clients and the government said, well, are you good enough with this? We don't care about the building, you know? I said, okay, then we won the competition. Then is, if you go to the, do you have this nice red point? This one? Okay. Ah, this is is another court in the area. This is like for the criminal court. And we had to, in this infill site, we had to design for the civil court cases. And the brief, like design the civil court, you had to have an external bridge to join if the lawyers want to come from one to the other, and try to blend with this amazing building. Said, of course we can do that, don't worry, don't worry. So I show the plan because I think a project like that the plan is preoccupied the design and the formology and all the areas. On the yellow is, and actually is the first purpose-built court, and according to the safety from the police and the judges cannot come across with the public. The park underneath, they have their own private lift, they have their, and then they go, this corridor is the judge's corridor. So this is one room, this is the office, and the lawyers, which is the blue, they can see only the secretary if they want. And this is what we did. We managed to, and when I presented to them, because we did models, not 3Ds, to present to them, they said, but it doesn't blend with the existing building. I said, yeah, but you need to change the existing building because it's not good enough. And actually it's funny because now when we finish it and they start using it, I heard that they're gonna renovate the old building. This has this solidity of concrete. And in front, this is like a mask, but not a decoration mask. We put this mask as a sun protection filtering system because it's direct west. And there, in Cyprus, we have the opposite problem you have. It's too hot, you know? If it sounds in this, it's too hot and the sun is too glaring. And this is through the bridge. Again, we had to protect it from the sun and everything. This is how this kind of, the louvers create this kind of a filtering of light. And this is the front wall, the iconic. I don't like this word, like this is like became like that. And this is what's happening behind is the ramp for the disabled, so it has a use, but the main use is like to have this kind of a filtering light through the interior. Because it's a government project, it has no budget, there's no high budget. They wanted to do this with €1,000 per square meters. Is this building plus 2 basements? So we had to engage a program that let's put all the money in the foyer. Let's do some objects of the foyer, like the staircase here and the reception. And they decided they have to put this like an airport. In the beginning, we wanted to remove them to take the pictures. And I said to the photographer, you know, just to look cool architecture. But then I said to the photographer, no, leave it. It's part of the envelope. It's part of the use of it. So basically what we did, we just had this foyer space and we put this kind of an object staircase just to dominate the place. And through the glass, which is a clear glass, it looks like a frozen glass, but it's not because of the background. We have this kind of a tranquilizing atmosphere in the building. This is another picture with the beautiful objects. And this is the roof, the ceiling. We tried to play with the ceiling to make the building much more playful. And this is one of the courtrooms that is not good to people to use it, but okay. This is in the back where is the corridor of the judges, because it's opposite, so it's no protection or anything, because the existing building gives shade to this part of it. Okay, the second project I'm going to show you, it started, the mayor of Paphos, asked me to design. That thing was existing there, and he wanted me to design up to here, something. And mind you, this is the site, this is an archaeological site. It's an UNESCO protected site, the fencing inside. This is UNESCO protected site. This is the second biggest mosaic site outside of Rome in the world. It's the house of Dionysus, the god of wine. So we didn't have any money, so basically we had to go and collect all the stones, you see, from the quarries or the marble makers in the whole of Limassol and Paphos area, the things they throw out. So the builders or the contractor collected, and we wanted. And actually, we didn't have a drawing. We started by having a sketch, and I think it took like 8 months to build. It's 3.5 kilometers, by the way. And these 8 months, I used to go and get a coffee every morning and go and meet the builders, and they said, "Hey, boss, what to do now?" And we improvised. And it was such an amazing project because we came back to the origins of architecture, that sometimes we need to get away from this bureaucratic stuff. We create a sense. This is a map. This is the castle of Paphos, a great monument internationally. And this is another road. All this shaded area is a UNESCO protected site. So basically, the idea was going to go up to here, and then I convinced the mayor that let's do all the way, because we're going to connect the two main arteries, the square of the castle, and this is the Tomb of the King's Road, which is a major artery. This pedestrian way, by the way, all these is like with this fence you saw, because the archaeological department, they used to come almost 3-4 times a week to check if we dig, if we did something that they didn't like or anything. This is this drawing. We submitted to the President of the Republic Award. So they said they want a drawing. So after we finish, I put one of the guys and we draw. So we draw the plan after we finish. Okay. So it's a journey. This journey is a series of squares in yellow. It's a series of platforms to the sea, and it's the kiosk. When I call them, it's a kiosk here that after 3 kilometers you need to get a water at least. In the boxes is the satellites. So we make these kind of boxes. You see, this is one of the squares as you turn in the corner. And this is the satellites. It's a big journey. So, in the middle of the summer, because a lot of tourists are using it, especially elder people, so you wanted like a protection. So instead of doing like a shading, we did these boxes. We just like the satellites and happening, and then we place them to frame some views to the sea or in a highest peak. So they're becoming like a destination, but at the same time is the iconic of the area. Again, the iconic in not, you know what I mean. This is what it is. Basically, it's a box, and inside is this seat. So this is one of the platforms. The platforms, the wood we used was recycled wood. They did one public project, and the mayor didn't like it, so they they dismantled the wood and they put it in the storages of the municipality. So we took that wood and we used it. So that's why you see, this is the platform is going to, and it's very primary. It's very primary, and I like this very much because of is so contextual with the whole thing that we try in our motive all this journey through this project was non-design in the traditional way. Let's not design for our ego. That's why I think it became so successful. These holes you see in the wood is how they used it for the previous project. This is a couple of pictures again. And because they had some boats, we used this corten steel just to reminiscent of the decayed boats this around. This is in every box we do it, we use this kind of, this is the things we found in the archaeological, and this is reminiscent to the mosaics. So it's like you see these kind of geometrical shapes in a more modern way, but they're coming out from these kind of shapes. And this is how people engage it nowadays, and all. And actually became the postcards. The tourist Ministry of Tourist Organization, they use these boxes as the postcards. So we see them in the souvenir shops. And I actually like that so much. And this is the cover when Paphos was the capital city in 2017. They used this project to get that was in the bid of the competition. So they used these images from that. Okay, now we go to another public project. It's in the center of Paphos. I maybe go to, okay, this is that square, was nothing. And we wanted to make a hub, because this is a shopping area, a pedestrian shopping area. This is a traditional market. Now they became not a traditional market, but a cheap Chinese souvenir shop, like in all tourist areas. So this is a small square. They tried to do something, they demolished it. That was what we found. So I said, the first thing, because the way I design and we design is always very spontaneous. When we were there, we said, I went back to the office and I said, go Herzog and de Moron, Caixa, Madrid, the green wall. So we've got this image, and now we create this atmosphere with this green wall and this nice pergola. And then it became like a hub for the people, and people again engaged it. And this is what it is. Different pictures of how these spaces became nowadays and people using it. Detail, and behind here is the water falling from the system of the green wall. And this is how people use it. This is the KAFe. They do performances and they do open parties there. So I think, for me, a public space is people using it is a successful. This is that's how you measure success in a. So it became a point of reference again in the city, and it became the photographic back wall of weddings, of Instagram pictures, of Facebook pictures. So we found these. We didn't took these pictures. We found them in different sites, different Facebook addresses and Instagrams. Okay, this is a project in Limassol. It's in the motorway. It's on the motorway, and I put these because it's one of the projects we won the President Award. And the reason I put this project because in the jury wrote what they managed to do is to create a landmark, I don't like this word, on the motorway. So it's a point of reference when you drive and people to say, well, you go there and This is the directions of everything. This is a building that, in comparison with the other buildings, this is from the Motorway. This kind of playful, but at the same time, this kind of horizontality just to express the speed. This is a guy that it's a multimillionaire. He has an oil company in Cyprus, and his brief was like, I want to do a green building, and I want to do an open plan building. Your architecture is your business. And we use geothermal energy for this building and solar cooling on the top. So we got a certificate from the German Institute of Energy as an A-class building. And the guy was very happy, actually. So this is the open plan. It's a very simple plan, actually. It's no columns in the middle because it's a metal structure. And we manage, this is again from the Motorway. This is on the other side, we wanted to make it more playful because from the second and above floor, you have sea views and everything. And this is how it looks. On the other side, on one side in the Motorway, it looks protective. On this side, it's open up to the world with glass because it doesn't have any problem with sun shading, so we use more glass. Again, this is some image of this project. This is internally how it looks. And this is actually wanted to use the most expensive furniture. He wanted to do something for him, for his employees, because he wanted to use this geothermal energy because he said it's very important for my employees' well-being. These are meeting rooms. They have one of the first buildings in Cyprus to copy the model of Google in a small scale. They have their own cafeterias and their own playground areas. This is recently completed, is a boarding house. The reason I put this because it's the first purpose-built boarding house in Cyprus for one of the private schools. And actually, when we went to the Ministry of Education, they didn't have any regulations. So how to do this? So we got this, all this information we found. In the end, after we complete, one guy from the ministry called me and he said, can we meet in my office? Can I come to see you in the office? I said, oh my God, maybe something wasn't. So he came and said, because you are the first who did this, can we write the regulations according to this building? And I said, yeah, sure. So it's a big compliment to tell you this, because we were very helpful as well. This is what it is. We use this system that because we wanted to have a shading and at the same time protect the environment, but at the same time the kids to feel more safe. We have this system that it's like with electronically, that this becoming openable, that everybody can control, and after 10 o'clock it closes for all the kids for security. This is how this works. They wanted to have, one of the other things the client said here is that it's the first boarding house. We are attracting a lot of Chinese kids, Vietnamese and Russian. I don't want to be a boarding school. I want to be a 5-star hotel. So use whatever you need. And I want to be better than a lot of the hotels in town. This is the plan again, it's very simple. This is the heart, this is the foyer, and this is the rooms. We have triple rooms and single rooms. This is the technical drawing. And we create this kind of a nice courtyard. The kids, and actually now the kids engaged it and they feel very good. Of course, we use photovoltaic panels for energy. And here we can play. It's a small video just showing how these things work with. Okay, sorry. No, I don't know. George did it in the office. So basically, it's like it feels like it's a 3D rendering, you know, which is, and actually the kids start staying from September, and once I went, we had an event there, and they introduced me as the architect, and the kids were so happy, and they always say thank you, and this is a very big compliment when you bring kids from abroad, 7, 10, 12 years old, to live in a foreign country, and you make them feel good away from their parents. This is a very good feeling. Okay. Okay, this is a close-up of this garden area for the outdoor activities. We are very lucky because of the weather conditions, so the external areas is very important for us. And we wanted to do this organic pergola that is shading again because of the climatic. And this is a view of the internal area that the client wanted to invest even to the most vitra furniture, to the most expensive area to give this feeling. This is a typical room. I didn't choose these bed sheets, but doesn't matter. This is some of the views from the night. This is how it is. And we managed to create a small amphitheater here. It's for 110 people, just to give them something to do, or entertainment and everything. Okay, now I'm going to move to a house. There's two houses I'll show. The one is 1 and 2. This is our house actually. When they were building the sewage plant with these kind of drainage pipes, you know, I was always, when they were delivering them, they were stuck them in the fields, and I was so impressed by these structures. So because we wanted to do a filtering architecture, a filtering wall, because again, this is the west wall. So we didn't want to block the view, but at the same time, we wanted to block the west sun. That is, you cannot sit outside. This is what is from the outside. So every night people pass in and we see cars slow down. Then to see what is behind this and then moving. The plan is very simple again. We use then we use this courtyard between the fence, and on the north side we use the lake. We have a lake, and it's all facing the bedrooms, and this is like it's tranquilizing and it's relaxing, and at the same time during the summer months the evaporation and the breezing is give 3-4 degrees less temperature. The idea came from the courtyard, which is it's a very big thing in our culture, the courtyards. It came from the monasteries, these Greek Orthodox monasteries, that they have this kind of the church, which is the core, and the cells of the monks, and always is full of these aromatic plants. So we wanted to interpret this in our house, where the house is the church, and this became like this wall to incorporate. Obviously, we developed this with an aluminum company, this sliding 3 meters by 4 meters big glass, sliding windows. So when you open, the in and out is not defined, and this is accessible because we have this weather. This is a cross section showing this, and this is the view looking outside of this filtering and this this kind of texturing of the view. This is with the open windows to this area, and this is like closed, but the reflection of the glass gives you this. Then it feels like it's hot, but it's like a relaxing atmosphere that you can use. This is a view of the lake with the kitchen. And this is like, we wanted a room, not to be a room, but to be an open plan. So we create this kind of a big wall that is moving around. We move it and then we create an open space. If we don't want an open space, we close it. This is a view of the house when everything is open, at nighttime. This is how it looks with in the spring. But then we got some more money and we decided to do a gallery. And this is the gallery because my wife is an architect. We are in the office together, but she paints as well. So we wanted to do a gallery with a swimming pool. This is a section. We didn't want to do any structure that will be above the ground level. So we create this kind of a section. And then in the gallery is like a basement, and the pool is on top. So the roof, we make it to a green roof, and it became like a carpet, a continuation of this. And it's like a flying from some angles, it looks like it's flying out from the landscape. This is the pool. And actually we're using it, so which is good. This is a gallery inside. We use white concrete. And this is like, the pool has this big 6 meters glass. So when we had an exhibition, people can float in things, or we didn't, and swimming if they want, to make the exhibition more fun. This is from the first exhibition we did, you know. And the people, we didn't expect to get so many people actually. But a lot of people came and so encouraging. And after, about 20 people called us and said, can we do an exhibition in that gallery? So, and this is that was one of our aims. We wanted to give something back to because Cyprus or Paphos is a small place. Sometimes I like when we can do something for the community. It's very, very important. And for young artists to come and tell you, can I use it because I love it? This is what I think sometimes is the aim of architecture, and sometimes this is what we need to think. This is landmarks. The landmark is to improve the life and the sense of place and feelings of people, of local people, of your local people, of your surrounding. This is in the nighttime. This is, I will show you this last house is on a cliff. And it's hanging out from a cliff where in a neighborhood is full of traditional houses, these kind of houses. So don't think Cyprus is all like this. It's all like this, actually. So it was, when the client took me up there, we couldn't go down. It was about 35 meters drop, really, very steep. I said, what do you want me to do? He said, we want to build. I said, how are we going to build here? It's crazy. But we managed. He was a great guy. He said, one of my requirements is, whatever you do, you need to make the pool in the same area like the living room. I said, but we need to hang it. He said, oh, that's even better. This is a project that it works with sections. It's a sectional project. This is the first model we did. And this is how the pool is hanging out. So basically, you park on the top, so the car actually has the best prominent place in the whole development. Then it's the living room. This is the bedroom area. This is the maids and the multi-purposes rooms. This is, okay, the plans. And this is how it looks from the cliff area. It's hanging out, the pool, and we create this kind of an environment. You feel you're in a helicopter. This is the views they have from that upper terrace. And it's amazing when you swim and you feel like you're gonna fly out. And of course, the best position is for the cars. Unfortunately, but in Cyprus we have this, but it's good. This is some views from the area. This is the master from the second terrace. We separate the kids from the parent area, and we put this thing in the middle, tree in the middle. The clients are very happy, and I think when the clients tell me that they sleep good the night, I feel satisfaction, and I feel like you fulfill your job. Okay, thank you very much.